everybody. Welcome to the 2024 Hall of Fame induction ceremonies. We have 5 worthy candidates, inductees that we're putting in this year. It's a pleasure for myself, the members of the committee, to be here before you tonight. The individuals that are being put in my opinion, some of them are overdue, should have been maybe put in some years ago, and that leads me to a point. People always question me in Walmarts, somewhere, Coach, why isn't so-and-so in the Hall of Fame? And I said, y'all, I have no decision to make on that. We fill out applications every year. People that want to be in the Hall of Fame, you as parents, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, you nominate that individual. The applications are, they come out in January, February, they're Macon County Times, Chronicle, or any board member. And it's not frustrating. You know, I've done this too long and too old to think about that, but that's how the process works. You must be nominated before you can ever get into the Hall of Fame. This is being filmed by NCTV. It'll be on the website, and you can watch this again. But at the end of this show, the yellow jacket will be probably blue or something like that. At this time, we will start our presentation. And our first nominee is Dwayne Coulter.
Dwayne Coulter is one of the new members of the 2024 class of the Macon County Sports Hall of Fame. Dwayne played baseball and basketball at Macon County High School. In basketball, he played 4 years. 3 years as a starter. He was named to the Red Boiling Springs Christmas Tournament All-Tournament team for 3 years. He was named to the All-Tournament team twice at the Nera White Invitational Tournament. He was named All-District 10AA in both 1996 and 1997. Dwayne helped lead the Tigers to a 28-3 record and sub-state appearance his junior season. Dwayne also enjoyed a successful baseball career at MCHS. As a starting pitcher, he posted an incredible 25-4 record during his career. In 1994, he was named MCHS Rookie of the Year. He was named to the All-District team in 1996 and was named Co-Most Valuable Player of the District in 1997. He won the Best MCHS Pitcher Award in both 1996 and 1997. Dwayne and his Tiger baseball teammates advanced to the region finals 2 years. Dwayne has also coached at the Little League level and served as head coach of the Macon County Junior High baseball team for 2 seasons. Today, Dwayne lives in Lafayette with his wife, Christy. They have 2 sons, Aaron and Landon. Dwayne currently works for NCTV as a central office technician. Dwayne Coulter, one of the newest members of the 2024 class of the Macon County Sports Hall of Fame.
To present Dwayne with his plaque, Mr. Sean Carter, will you come up here?
Thanks, Coach Fitz. I was told to keep this short and sweet, and when Dwayne asked me to announce him, I was very honored, and I appreciate it very much. I'm not much of a speaker, but I'm a good storyteller, so got one little thing to say. I was sitting with another basketball coach some years after Dwayne had been out of high school, and this guy had coached junior high and high school. And we were just sitting talking about good players that had come through. And he goes, y'all had one of the best junior high kids ever play that I've ever seen play, played here. And I said, well, you remember who it was? No, I don't remember his name. I said, well, what do you look like? Well, he had real thick black hairy legs and a mustache. And I said, that's Dwayne Coulter. That's the only person it could be. Got to be Dwayne Coulter. To say that he matured early was an understatement. So but I'm going to swing that around to good just in a minute. A lot of kids mature early, and they're really good in junior high, and then everybody catches up to them. But they never learned how to play hard. They never had any grit because it came easier because they were bigger and stronger than everybody. So a lot of those don't reach their full potential. That's where Dwayne's different. I think he realized that he matured early. Or maybe Paulette just gave birth to a toddler. I don't know. But Dwayne looked about 17 when he was a freshman, mustache thicker than what I had, but he didn't quit. A lot of people quit at that stage and get passed up. But he knew his limitations, and he was tough, he hated to lose, and he worked hard. And if you've got those three things, you can be successful in anything. So I was proud you asked me to recognize you and introduce you, and I just want to welcome you to the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, everybody bear with me. I'm not known for public speaking. I've kind of battled back and forth on, I had the speech written out. I thought, well, I'll stand up here and read it. And then I decided a couple of days back that I was going to change my mind. So I've jotted a few things down and just going to try to wing it. So if I stumble over myself, I apologize. First of all, I would like to thank Barry Hyatt for the nomination, the committee for electing me. It's a great, great honor. I appreciate it more than you would ever know. People I would like to thank. It starts with Mom and Dad. My two sisters, Elaine and Amy. Mom and Dad, you know, they hauled, I'm sure like everyone else, they haul you around as a kid. All the ball games, the practices. You don't really understand until you become an adult yourself with kids of your own, the sacrifices that they make. So, you know, I'm very grateful for that. My basketball career, like Sean said, I was bigger, stronger than most of the guys in junior high. Probably the biggest guy on the team, and then my senior year, I was the shortest guy on the team. So, like Sean said, I went from being a scorer at the junior high level and, you know, catching a lot of rebounds to being the guy that, you know, fought for loose balls. You know, anytime you got Joey Tuck, you know, leading your team, you don't have to do a whole lot on the scoring side. He handled that. Todd, Austin, he was another one that done a lot of scoring for us. I want to thank Coach Gary Carter, first of all. He was my freshman year coach. He gave me an opportunity to play as a freshman, and I appreciate that very much so. Next would be Coach Mike Prock. Coach Prock was our coach or my coach, along with some of the other guys, obviously was 5th through 8th grade. And then again, sophomore through our senior season. And, you know, that crew stayed together for that entire time. And with his leadership and, you know, obviously some really good teams, that proved to be a winning combination there. And we ended up having some really good basketball teams. And like was said, I was able to be part of the 96 team where we went 28-3, lost unfortunately up here in Lafayette at the sub-state, but it was a lot of good memories there. Coach Sean Carter was, which is better known now as Sean. That kind of sounds a little weird saying coach, but he was our assistant coach. You know, we become extremely good friends after I got out of high school. And it started in high school, but, you know, even though he was a coach, me and him had a lot of conversations off the floor more so than actually in the gym. He was the one that, when I wanted to show my butt on the floor, he always called me out. You know, when I thought I was a little bit better than what I was, he was the one that put me in line. And, you know, everybody needs somebody like that, you know, and I appreciate that. Moving on to my baseball career, Coach Wayne Deering, he was obviously my high school coach. done a lot for us as a team. We had, was fortunate enough to be on some of the better baseball teams, I think, here at Macon County High School. One thing that I remember about Coach Deering was a lot of practices would end with the same speech. He would say, you boys put God first, your family second, baseball third, and everything else will fall in line. And, you know, that stands true. Next person in baseball was where it really all started, Mr. Charlie Darnell. I was on Mr. Darnell's Little League team from 9-year-old to a 12-year-old. And he taught me a lot about baseball, but so much more about life itself. You know, he would put the team up in the bleachers during practice times when we should have been out on the field, or we thought we should be on the field practicing, but you know, he would give us tests, school tests, always made sure to ask, you know, how are you doing in school? You know, making sure we were behaving in school. Just a great man. The thing that stands out most to me about Mr. Darnell would be, as a 9-year-old, you know, when I come onto the team, there was one thing that he was very, very stern about, and that was the playing of the national anthem. And he always, we would line up along the foul line just like they do today, and he made sure, he told us that you stand there, your hat's off, your right hand over your chest, and you better not move. If there's a fly that lands on your nose, you've got an itch somewhere, you best not move. And, you know, I still do that to this day, you know, from a lesson learned as a 9-year-old. Obviously, I want to thank all my teammates. You know, I honestly feel like the reason I'm here tonight was just one of the guys that was fortunate enough to be on one of the best basketball teams. I won't say the best because I know there would be some arguments up here, but one of the best and a few of the best baseball teams, you know, and I honestly think that's the reason I'm here, you know. We were just fortunate enough to have a great bunch of guys together, and, you know, it worked in our favor. Last thing I'd like to do is mention my family. Christy, my wife, been married for 26 years, I think that's right. 2 wonderful boys, Aaron and Landon, daughter-in-law Cameron, soon-to-be daughter-in-law Emily. I'm fortunate, you know, everything's turned out great. I would like to thank everybody again, all the people that's been part of my journey. I really appreciate it. Thank y'all. I may need that.
Y'all, these plaques that they're receiving, we have duplicates, and up there in front of the high school in the hallway there's a whole row of all the inductees plaques over the last, I think the first one was in 2000 or 2001. So each individual gets their own, and the other one's put up there in front of the school. Our next inductee is Miss Jan Ellis.
Jan Austin Ellis is one of the newest members of the Macon County Sports Hall of Fame. Jan was a 2-sport athlete at Macon County High School. She was a member of both the basketball and volleyball teams. During her senior season in basketball, Jan averaged 13 points and 8 rebounds a game. She was named to the All-District team, made the All-District Tournament team, and was named to the Red Boiling Springs Christmas Tournament All-Tournament team. Jan scored a career-high 27 points against Goodlettsville and helped lead her team to a 21-9 record her senior season. Jan finished her high school career with 699 points and 431 rebounds. Jan played volleyball in high school, but also at Cumberland University for 2 seasons. She was named to the 1988 and 1989 NAIA Academic All-Conference team. Jan has also served as a coach in both girls basketball, softball, and cross country. Today, Jan works for Knollwood Manor here in Lafayette. She lives in Lafayette with her husband, Jeff. They have 2 children, Jade and Ben. Jan Austin Ellis, one of the newest members of the 2024 class of the Macon County Sports Hall of Fame.
All right, her brother has the privilege, I think, of coming up here and saying a little something about her and giving her her plaque. Come on up, Todd Austin.
Y'all will probably wish that I was more like Sean and my comments more brief. I've got some prepared remarks here, and I'll try to be as brief as I can. But I would first like to start and say that congratulations to all the inductees. Except for, I guess I'd call him Mr. Wells, but Polecat, as my friend Gary Max will call him. Except for him, I've been able to play with or witness or be in school with all the other inductees here. Barry played with my brother, and then Jan, and you know, it's a special honor to be in the Hall of Fame, but not to get emotional, it's a special honor to relive some of these memories of these people. You know, this is my childhood, watching these people play. And then briefly I'll say Dwayne was being very modest. You know, Dwayne was a super athlete. I won't rehash everything that was going on, but I'll stick up for us and say I feel like baseball wise and basketball, but baseball we had you know, 3 of the best consecutive classes of baseball players in the history of this high school. And like he said, we're privileged to be on that team, and he's been very modest. We were ranked in the state all 3 of our senior, junior, and sophomore seasons. And Dwayne was, I hate to say it this way crudely, but he was our stud on the mound. I mean, we had Joey Tuck, Josh Shoulders that could pitch too. My senior season, Josh blew out his knee. I had to catch and caught Dwayne, and I'm not just puffing him up. Literally, he could hit any spot I put my glove as a catcher. Literally. Had the best control of, I put him up against any pitcher control-wise. He was a great pitcher when we were in Little League, and then in high school, he was an even better pitcher. Great basketball player too, but just he was being modest, so I want to brag on him a little bit more. So I'll get on with my sister, who I'm up here for. I'm honored to present for induction in the Macon County Sports Hall of Fame, my sister, Jan Austin Ellis. And Mr. Barry does a great job with his videos, wonderful job, and I'm sorry if I rehash some of the things that he's already put on the video. Jan was a well-rounded athlete and played multiple sports from her youth until she graduated from Macon County High School in 1986. She played softball in her youth and made the All-Star team in 3 of the years she played. She was a member of the inaugural volleyball team at MCHS, where she earned academic all-conference. She also served as the student manager for the MCHS baseball team, as well as the statistician for the MCHS football team. Without question, Jan's focus and most success as an athlete came on the basketball court. She was a 4-year player and a 2-year starter for Coach Gary Carter, finishing her high school career with 699 points and 431 rebounds. She received the award for Most Improved Player as a junior and carried that momentum over to her senior season. During her senior year, the 1986 MCHS Tigerettes finished with a 21-9 record, won the Vol State Conference tournament, and were ranked 3rd in the mid-state in Class AA. Jan helped lead the team with per game averages of 13.3 points, 8.6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, a 47% field goal percentage, and a 63% free throw percentage. She received the following accolades for her performance during the season: All-District Tournament, Vol State Conference All-Conference, Vol State Conference All-Tournament, RBS Christmas Tournament All-Tournament, and third team All-Mid-State. She ranked third in scoring in the district with a season high of 27 points versus Goodlettsville. Her postseason recognition included the Neil White Award, Best Field Goal Percentage, Top Rebounder, Top Defensive Player, Academic Award, and the Chamber of Commerce Award. In addition to her athletic prowess, Jan was a top 10 honor student and was involved in numerous extracurricular activities during her time at MCHS. Jan received a basketball scholarship to Cumberland University, where she graduated with honors. She also played 3 years of varsity volleyball at Cumberland University for Coach Dwayne Deering. Jan has always been a sports enthusiast, serving as a head coach or assistant coach to various youth and school sports teams throughout her adult life. In 2017 and 2018, she served as the head coach of the Macon County Cross Country Elementary team. In 2017, her girls team won 4 races and finished second place at the state qualifier. In 2018, her boys team won the state qualifier, and one of her boy runners was named to the all-state team and qualified for nationals. Jan served as an assistant coach for the Macon County Junior High girls basketball team for the 2022-23 season, and shortly after college served as a Little League baseball umpire for 3 years. She has dedicated much of her life to helping young people in Macon County to improve their craft, often holding voluntary individual workouts for nieces, nephews, cousins, and other family and non-family members in whatever sport they were playing at the time. Jan has always cheered for and supported the youth of Macon County sports, even when she did not have a child, niece, or nephew playing. Jan possesses a vast sports knowledge and is a true sports junkie. She is the biggest March Madness basketball fan and is in charge of the Austin Family Bracket Challenge for each NCAA tournament. And for the record, since this is being recorded, I do not participate in those bracket challenges, as I'm not allowed to. Of our 4 Austin siblings, Jan undoubtedly received the genes for toughness in the sports arena. She was a physically tough player, as attested by her 8.6 per game rebounding average and her being awarded best defender on her team as a senior. Even during the prime of my playing years and her being much older, I didn't enjoy playing pickup basketball with her because of how aggressively she would box me out on rebounds. I wasn't tough enough to play her, even with her being older than me. I love my siblings dearly, and I look up to and admire each of them for different reasons. I've learned so much from each of them. My first year of playing basketball for the school team was as a 4th grader on the 6th grade team. When it came time to choose jerseys, there was never a question whose number I wanted to wear. And I wore number 20 in every sport I played from the 4th grade until I graduated high school. The main reason I wore that number was because I looked up to my big sister, number 20, Jan Austin. It's my honor to present for induction into the Macon County Sports Hall of Fame, my sister, Jan Austin Ellis.
That might have been a mistake to get him to do me. He almost made me cry. And talking about the umpire days, I umpired coach pitch by myself. as a college kid. And I can still remember 3 distinct people who I would love to throw out of the game, but never did. One of them even came to, I worked at Citizens Bank in the summers for Mr. Charlie Darnell, and I loved your talking about him. But anyway, he come the next day after a ball game and said, ask her about the play she called on first base. So I got called in the office, and Charlie said, what about the play? I said, what's it matter about the play? Ask him if he won the ball game. He just laughed and said for me to go back to work. Anyway, let me put my glasses on here. I wrote a few things. Whew. I would like to thank the Sports Hall of Fame for this honor. It is an honor. I do appreciate it. I'll try to make this brief. The first thanks I want to give is to my mom. She got all 4 of us, which I guess at the time it was 3 of us. Todd was too little. She got us to all of our practices, all of our games. We had whatever we needed. She was and still is our biggest cheerleader. She raised all 4 of us alone, and what an amazing job she did. And you don't realize it until you have your own kids. But thanks, Mom. My sister Kim and my brother Greg played softball, baseball, whatever, for countless hours in our backyard. Greg would also play basketball with me, and we would try to pick up whoever we could. A lot of times it was Van Presley and Randall Jenkins when we were at my grandparents' house. And if you know Van Presley, it was a lot of trash talk. But thank you both for practicing and pushing me. Of course, my very younger brother, Todd, I have to thank him as well. I was so thrilled when he chose my number and that he would wear. It was the best, and it still is the best. And I've enjoyed thoroughly watching him and his career and when he played and as he does his refereeing now. Thank you. And thank you for allowing me to help you with Allie, Kate, and Tate. I love to help with Allie, Kate, and Tate. Tate's fun. I'm going to skip to my husband and thank him because when Jade was growing up and Todd and Ben was growing up, I'd come in and I'm going to be coaching elementary cross country. I'm going to be coaching softball. I'm going to help Todd in AAU basketball. He never said a word. He just did whatever we had to do for me to do it, and I'd appreciate it, and I love you. Even when I had to go to banking school for 2 weeks and you had to head coach girls softball. I know you wanted to kill me for that. To my kids, Jade and Ben, thank you for letting me coach you. I know, Jade, you had to play many positions you never wanted to play, but I would ask you to do that because I wouldn't ask anybody else to do it, but you did it and never complained. And I want to thank you for running cross country your senior year because she introduced us to a sport that is fabulous. She ran that first year, so it gave me the idea to ask Coach Gaddis to let Ben run, just in practice. Well, before you know it, Coach Gaddis has put him in a race. And Ben wound up running for 4 years, and that they are so uplifting. The cross-country community is just wonderful. You just need to participate in it. But thank you, Ben Ellis, for running for 4 years. And that's when I got to coach cross-country in the elementary age. I was going on the bus trips. They were letting me to go with Ben, so I was just approached about helping with the elementary kids, and that was such a joy. My high school basketball coaches were Eddie Claiborne and Gary Carter. Coach Claiborne was a great male example, and he always made us laugh. Coach Carter was the head coach, and he helped me in so many ways. I would not be the basketball player I am without him, but there's 3 particular things that I want to thank him for. And I asked him earlier, I told him I was going to do that for him to think about it, to see if he could come up with them. But number 1, when I was a freshman, toward the end of the year, he moved me to the post forward position. And I'm so thankful he did, because that was where I loved it. I loved being a post. The second thing he did was, as a sophomore, I had to guard Sis Newberry Denton. And I don't know if anybody knows her or ever watched her play, but she was rough and hard-nosed and not nice and didn't care if she bruised me or pushed me down or made me cry or anything else. And it toughened me up real quick. It was either that or I was going to have to quit because I didn't have a choice. I come home with bruises all over my body, and Mom would say, "Where'd you get that?" Sis Newberry gave it to me. But I'm so thankful he did, because she made me into such a much better player. Number 3, there was this drill Coach Carter did for us. We talk about it all the time. When we were shooting layups, he wanted to make sure we concentrated and hit the shot. So he would hit us, beat us with a mat. And not easy, pretty hard. And if we didn't have a good shooting game, we knew we was going to have to do that drill again. But I'm so thankful he did that for us. It made us tougher. We hit our shots. We won ball games. And I so wish that we could use that drill today. There's so many ball games I watch now, and I think, Coach Carter'd have them hitting them shots. But thank you, Coach Carter. I had four memorable basketball years in high school that I would take nothing for. I also need to thank some teammates that got me the ball. And when I say they got me the ball, they got me the ball. I wasn't allowed to take more than 3 dribbles, I don't think, coming down the floor. He would yell at me, "Give the ball up." And I was fine with that. But Kelly Carter Carnahan and Tanya Doss Wells were for sure 2 of the ones that made me what I am today. Some more girls that I need to thank is Claudette Langford Peters, Stacy Brooks Dickerson, Vicki Gammons Clariday, and Melissa Flippin Belton. Without them getting me the ball, I would not have the stats that I have. So to conclude, I want to tell you a couple of stories about the greatest athlete Macon County has or will ever have, Miss Nera White. I knew her personally, and she was a fabulous human being, but when I was in high school and I played summer league softball, she was our umpire behind the plate. And there was this one game where we were winning 31-2. There wasn't a run rule at that time. And so I was up to bat, and the pitcher pitches, and it rolls across the plate. And she says, "Strike." And I turned around and looked at her. She said, "You better be swinging." Well, in 1986, Tennessee did their bicentennial celebration, and Macon County did one at Key Park, and they were naming the high school gymnasium after Miss Nera White. And I was fortunate enough to be invited to that ceremony because I received the Nera White Award that year, and she was going to re-present it to me at that ceremony. So we get there, and we're standing up there, and she looks around, and we're getting her picture made. She said, "Oh, it's you." But I'm so grateful. I saw Nera several times over the years, and we had a good friendship. I'm so grateful to have those 2 memories with her. Thank you, Macon County, for the best memories, and thank you again to the Sports Hall of Fame.
Okay, our next inductee will be Barry Polston.
Barry Polston is one of the new members of the 2024 class of the Macon County Sports Hall of Fame. He played both basketball and golf at Macon County High School. He was a 3-year starter for the Tigers on the basketball court. He was a member of the 1986 state tournament team. He was named All-District 10AA for 3 seasons. He was named to the All-Tournament team at the Red Bowling Springs Christmas Tournament 3 years. He was named Honorable Mention to the All-Mid-State team in 1989. He finished his MCHS career with 1,031 points. In 1989, He made 68% of his shots from the field, which was best on the team. That same year, he was the second leading rebounder in the Mid-State as he yanked down nearly 15 rebounds a game. He is one of only 2 boys in MCHS school history to win more than 100 games during his career. Polston's Tigers teams won 104 games and lost just 30. Today, Barry lives in Lafayette with his wife, Belinda. They have 2 sons, Zach and Landon. Barry Polston, one of the newest members of the 2024 class of the Macon County Sports Hall of Fame.
Okay, here to present Barry's plaque, Coach Gary Carter.
Y'all tell me if it's too loud or not, okay? Congratulations to all you guys for being inducted, getting nominated. So, and I knew it's so funny when I was thinking about who was going to be inducted, and it's already started. I thought they'll be fussing about who had the best basketball or baseball team. It run through my mind because I knew Sean, like we were better than y'all, or we could have beat y'all, and I knew Todd's bunch, we were better. I already had all this planned out because I knew them all. But you know something? That's what made them all tough, because they believed they were the best. When they were out on the floor, when out on the field, they thought they could win. It just didn't matter. So that put them in Jen, glad you had a few sniffles, because when you get to talking about people, it matters. It's hard to hold it back. And I'm an old man now, and I can't keep from letting my emotions run wild when I talk about my kids. I got to induct both of my son and daughter, and that was so special to me. And all the ones that I get to induct now, and I know I can't do them all, but it sure is a pleasure to do this. And so I told Clint come by a while ago when I was talking to somebody, and I had to throw it in there. I said, I think I'm going to live to be about 92 or 94 so I can introduce my granddaughter and induct her at the Hall of Fame, but I'd probably have a problem with that one. He wouldn't let me. But I want to tell you, it's such an honor to be here tonight. You just don't know how proud it is to get to talk about it. And I look on this front row, and I had a part of 4 of those. I was around 4, and it wasn't around Dana, but was around her dad, so it's about the same thing. So, and I don't want to get into too much, but Mike Wells out here, I talked to him, and they said, Mike Wells. And I thought, Mike Wells, we were at summer camp, and I said, he had a busted eye, and I either band-aided it up, or he had a broken nose. And but he broke his nose at Waynesboro basketball camp and just kept on playing. There wasn't nothing to do to a broken nose. So I remember those. It's just special times about everybody that played for you. There's some little something. And Jan, since she brought up those dummies, those blocking dummies, just this past week, which we got some junior high girls that's not very tough and don't go to the basket very good. And one of the mamas asked me, said, you think you can get out those dummies, those blocking dummies and beat them? I said, well, times have changed now. There'd be somebody make something out of it. So, but it did make them tough. I'll say that. But we had some tough girls, we had some tough boys, and we had some parents that didn't baby their kids, and that's number one. So, they just want them to be a good basketball player or baseball player, and that really matters. Okay, Barry, I appreciate you. Barry, I appreciate you asking me to introduce you tonight into the Sports Hall of Fame. I was very fortunate to have coached many good players. Barry just happened to be one of them. I won many games at Macon County High School, the main reason I won, and every coach wins, you got to have a good player. You got to have good players, and more of those. And like Dwayne was talking about, you got to have role players too. Sometimes you score, sometimes you're not. I've always tried to give all the credit to my players throughout the years. As you mentioned, Barry was one of the ones that the two players that won over 100 ball games in 4 years. But fortunate thing about that, Barry come along at a good time. He come along, and he was surrounded by good, talented people. But Barry had a good, successful junior high career. He played basketball and football in junior high, and had a lot of talented kids around him there. But Barry had size, and I thought, well, you know, he might get a chance to play early in his career. But basketball is a position sport. And he had the size, because back then there wasn't many 6'4", 6'5", especially in Macon County. You know, so you really like to see those come along. Barry played football, as I said, in elementary school and basketball. Barry probably would have been a good football player if he played football. He had good hands, had really good hands for a big guy. So, and that goes along with that. I'll just go along with his freshman year. Barry made the varsity team his freshman year, along with Seth Overton, and he was the other guy that scored or won 100+ ball games, but he, like I said, he gets to come along and play along behind some good players, and we'll talk about that. They were just proud to be a part of the team as a freshman, and that team that they were on was a very good team. Sean Carter, Danny Kemp, Jeff Gregory, John Dillard, and Jody Benton. You know, I don't know who would have won. I'm not going to pick, but I know it would have been a dogfight if all these people started playing. It'd be good to watch. We beat many teams that year, pretty bad. Actually, maybe worse than we should have. But I played my subs a lot. Barry, being a freshman, Barry played in 20 basketball games as a freshman, averaged 2 points a ball game. That's a lot just to get in the game as a freshman. And we finished 27-7 on the state tournament team. And here we go, okay? Barry's next year, so we had 3. Sean, Dan Kemp graduated. His sophomore year, we had 3 starters back, Jeff and John and Jody, and we needed a big. And that opportunity was there for Barry, and he took advantage of it. He made the starting 5. He was a role player that year. As a sophomore, he was a role player. You know, he was asked to play defense, rebound, set screens, and make layups. That's all his job was. It wasn't Barry to shoot, because I had some scores, just like we was talking about a while ago. Barry played his role well. He averaged 6 points and 6 rebounds a game his sophomore year. Very, very good. But that wasn't the big thing I remember about Barry. That year, Barry made some big free throws down the stretch at the end of a region championship game that helped put us in the state tournament. They fouled him, and they fouled Jonathan Shrum because they didn't want to foul the other 3, but Barry come through in a clutch situation or a crunch time. You remember those, don't you? Sure do. We did get beaten a sub-state at home. As Todd mentioned that, or Dwayne mentioned that a while ago. That's really a game I don't like to think about, to be honest, today. But we finished 29-6. This basketball team would give a lot of basketball teams a pretty good run for the money. As a junior, Barry and Jody, they was returning starters. So now his role as a starter was much different. He had to help carry the team, with the other players being role players. Not many years as a coach you have 5 true starters. Just very seldom you have 5 true starters. Somebody has to play the role. Barry stepped his game up, played well, and that as a junior he averaged 11 points a game, 9 or 10 rebounds a game, and had several 20-point games, and got a lot of recognition. We ended up with a 24-8 record. Very pleasing. Senior year, now he's got 2 people left, all right? He and Seth Overton, which is the two people. Barry had to take a team with three players that never started as a varsity starter. They was junior high players. They went all the way through. They went all the way through with it. The others didn't get to play. Barry got to play as a sophomore, Seth got to play as a junior, the rest of them. And old Spencer Shrum, he told me he was going to be here tonight, and he let me down. So him and David Wright, and if old David hadn't passed, I'm sure he'd have been here. So, but Barry and Seth as seniors, and Spencer and David, they were pretty close. They would always fuss at each other, and this is the way we do as brothers, brothers and teammates. They fussed at each other every day about something, but they always had each other's back. It didn't matter but they fussed, but they had each other's back. And that's what it means as a teammate and a player. You've been on those basketball teams. Sean's been on some of those. We've all been on. Todd's been on some of those. But they stayed around. They got to play. They were pretty good because they'd been practicing against people that were better than them, all through the years. So when you practice against good people, like Jan was talking about, Sis Newberry, she was a bad mom, okay? And she was not nice. And she said, I loved her to death, but she was the meanest, toughest girl I think I've ever coached. And I don't know what I'd done with her if I'd had to coach her all 4 years. Coach Whaley, he'd done burn her out there, But, and I started Sunday practice because she was so bad. She stayed out late on Saturday night all the time. So I thought, only way I could get her to practice. And she'd come in and she stayed out all night. But she lived in Westmoreland, so I tried to not go there, So, but that's sad. So I wouldn't see her. But she was something else. And Jen, she sure made you better. No doubt about that. But with Barry and Seth and the others being around, winning from junior high, they won junior high all the way up to senior year. We had a winning season. We won 21 basketball games. Is that right, Barry? I think it was 21. And we just missed a sub-state with junior and senior year by one game. And that one game can go either way, anytime. So, but his senior year, Barry had it just a little bit. I got him about 15 points a game, 14 rebounds. And I had him about 60% shooting, but he says 68. We'll split the difference on that. That was from the field, and about 70 from a free throw line. We kind of pad our stats sometimes, depending on who's doing that. Barry had good touch. This is the funniest thing. Barry had good touch on the ball. He could shoot well, and he actually could shoot well out in the floor. So occasionally I'd started letting him shoot a few outside shots. Well, golly, then it was hard to get him to be inside. He wanted to play outside. And I always said, my big statement is like every big man wants to be a guard, They think they can shoot. But my theory was, Barry, you're a better rebounder. Okay, I got a little one can shoot, and I'd rather him be shooting and you rebounding as you shooting and him rebounding. Was he good? So that's kind of what it was at Dwayne. Same situation. Barry got numerous awards during his senior year, and as it's mentioned on the video, I could have went through all those, but I didn't mention those. Barry played at Ball State. This is something. Barry also played basketball at Ball State. I thought it was kind of ironic. Last week, I just happened to run into one of his old former Ball State basketball players. And he didn't say nothing about basketball, but he talked about how good a person Barry Polston was back then. What a compliment, Barry. We never mentioned basketball. We just talked about how good you were then and now. So Barry Polston's always been a very well-mannered, easygoing person from high school to now. Barry Polston comes from a good family with a lot of support. Barry also married into a good family. And I don't ever remember I don't know when they started dating, but I don't remember seeing him with anyone besides his wife, Belinda, in all these years. They have 2 quality sons, Zach and Landon, that they're very proud of. But you know what? One thing, Barry, and I love you, love your family, all of you. But there's so many people, just like the Sports Hall of Fame. You know, they get inducted and you don't see them again. Okay? You graduate from high school, you don't see them again and play basketball 4 years. You don't see them in the gym. And one thing that really stands out to me about Barry Polston, as a coach and as a fan sitting over on the other side a lot of times, because I love Macon County basketball program. And Barry and Belinda have always been good supporters of Macon County basketball. And almost every home game, you'll always see them in the gym watching Macon County basketball. And now I present to you the Macon County Sports Hall of Fame inductee, Barry Polston.
Thank you, Coach. I have a few more things to say about him a little bit later, but first thing I want to say is I want to congratulate the other inductees tonight. I said, you know, it's an honor to be up here and be going in, but to be going in with this great bunch of guys here, it's just really special. You know, we, like I said, I've known all of these guys, some older, some younger, but I've known them all in the past. It's just really an honor to be going in with them. And the first group I want to thank is the Hall of Fame Committee for selecting me. You know, this truly is an honor and it means a lot. You know, it's something that I thought about for years, and then you get up here and you get so emotional to you, and you think, you know, is it going to happen? And then time passes, and you know, you think, no, maybe it's not going to happen. And then when you get that phone call and you start thinking about old memories with your teammates and friends and stuff, and that kind of thing, it's really special. So I'm going to try to make it short and sweet. I know everybody says that, and somebody does, somebody doesn't, but trust me, if I can make it short and sweet, I'm going to. So I do have a few people to thank for this, and first of all, I got to start off. I guess you got to start at the beginning if you're going to thank someone. So I'm going back to my parents, of course. My mom, she's here tonight, and my dad. I wished he could be here, but we lost him about 4 years ago, and he was the one that really got me playing sports and involved. And you know, he was the kind of guy. He worked at the factory his whole life, and he was the kind of guy that would come in, and if I was out in the backyard shooting hoops or whatever, he would come put his lunchbox up and come out there and rebound for like an hour and just stuff like that. And you know, that's the kind of guy he was. I don't really think they ever missed a ball game of mine in junior high or high school. They was at every game. And honestly, I don't think I ever missed a game that I can remember, but I probably played sometime, but I probably shouldn't have played. So, you know, being sick or whatever, but it meant a lot to them to be at the games, and it meant a lot to me for them to be there. I will tell a quick story on myself, I guess, that, you know, maybe enough time has passed, but, you know, my mom might get mad about this. But anyway, you know, back when we were in school, if you were sick, you had to leave school, you couldn't play that night. And I wanted to play in the game so bad that, you know, I would sort of come home from school, and my mom could tell I had a fever, and I would take the thermometer and put it in, and she would walk off and go in the back of the house, and I would take it out and shake it back down. And then when she come back, I'd put it back in, and then of course she would come back, and my dad would come in from work, and he'd be like, "What is it?" And I'd say, "It's just 100." And it could have been 103, I don't know, but I'd say, "Just 100. And he was like, "He can play at 100, so I'd go play the games. That's how bad I wanted to play. You know, and that, maybe Mom won't get too mad tonight, but that's, you know, that's one of the stories I had. And back when I was in junior high playing in Central, pretty much back then, the kids have so much more options to play today, early, all sorts of sports, which is great. But back then, all we had pretty much was basketball, baseball, and football. That was the big three. If you was a guy playing in junior high when I played, that was it. And of course, I tried to play them all like everybody else, but I did play football for Coach Ronald Burble. Like Coach Carter said, we had great seasons. I think one year we went 8-0, next year 7-1 or something like that. And had great teams, and then I went on to play basketball for 3 years for Coach Bobby Branchford. Once again, we had great teams. I think we went 18-2 my 8th grade year and lost in the state tournament in junior high, but I don't really think it was because we were very well skilled at that age. I think it was more along the lines of we were so much bigger and taller. We had a tall, big team, and we would just throw the ball back and forth until somebody put it in. So that's how we won the game. There wasn't much skill involved in that. So that being said, I really didn't learn how to play the game of basketball until I got into high school, playing for Coach Mike Crock and Coach Gary Carter. You know, I learned a lot from them. You know, I tell everybody to this day, I say, I learned everything I know about playing basketball from those two guys. You know, and Coach Crock and Coach Carter, they teach us not just ball lessons, but life lessons. You know, I mean, and if you play the sport, you know what I'm talking about. We learned some lessons where if you're a post player and you get your hand in the guy's back, they'll call it a foul all day, but if you use your forearm, you can push them over the floor. I use that forever. They talk about my rebounding. I learned it from Coach Carter especially. Hey, when the ball is shot in the air, almost everybody in the gym's watching the ball. But if you're moving when the ball's in the air and get position, you'll be there when it comes off and gets rebounded. And I made a living on that, doing that kind of stuff. And I did learn a few life lessons. I'll share one with you right quick right here. So I guess it was my freshman year. We was playing White House at home, and Sean Carter was our starting post that year. And so if anybody ever seen Sean play, he never got in foul trouble, hardly ever. And it wasn't because Sean didn't play hard; he always played hard. But he was smart enough to know that if he got in foul trouble, he'd be sitting down and couldn't score. So therefore, if he couldn't score, he wanted to stay in the game. So this particular game, he picked up 2 fouls early in the first quarter. And for some reason, we had decided it was going to be really cool that year and keep our warm-up pants on while we're sitting on the side to go in. And so, anybody remembers those pants? There was the big, real thick bell-bottom pants that you couldn't hardly get off anyway. Well, I'm sitting there with a size 16 shoe on the end of the bench, and Shrum picks up his second foul, and I'm down at the end of the bench, and I'm not really expecting to play this early in the game, and I hear Coach Carter yell, "Barry, get in there for him." Well, I heard him say it, but it didn't really register. So I'm sitting there for another minute, and next thing I hear is Coach Carter say, "Polston, get in there for him." So now I'm trying to get the pants off, and they won't come over the shoes. So Seth over to the other freshman on the team he's talking about is down there on the floor trying to help me pull the pants off while I'm trying to go in the game. And I think Mike Crock finally yells, "Barry, are you going to get in there for him or not?" So by the time the pants come off, and I run and I check in, and I go in the game, and I'm so nervous and discombobulated if I get in there. I think I fouled the first 2 times down the floor, just bam, bam, and right back out I come, and never go back in that game. So the life lesson I learned from that was, when you're practicing for something, and you should be prepared to do it, when your number is called, you better be ready. So I use that in life, and my job, and everything now, and that's really helped me a lot along the way. So, yeah, and, you know, I felt like I never played a game in high school that I thought we were going to lose before the game. Not once. We were always prepared. You know, I thought we were really prepared. We knew we had plays that if we run them where we were supposed to run them, you couldn't stop us. We were going to get shots. If we had watched you play once or twice, we knew how to stop you. And pretty much for that 4-year window that I was there, the record alone shows that idea worked. You know, you went over 100 games in 4 years. That something's working. So you know, it's the coaches. We done those crazy every day. Everybody thought was crazy. We done those drills every day. The 3-on-2, 2-on-1s, the spin pivot drills, all the drills. Everybody there shaking their head. Yeah, because they played. You knew exactly what I was talking about. But the reason we done them was because they helped us. When the game time come, we didn't think about it. We just done it. One more crazy thing about me is I love practice. I love the practice. Some people didn't. Some people just soon play the game. I love the games, don't get me wrong. But I love that Sunday afternoon practice we used to have from 3:30 to 5. You know, we'd play the games during the week, and we would have that Sunday practice. I'd look forward to it. And a lot of times, a lot of us guys had keys to the old LES gym back then. We'd be up there at 7 o'clock again that night, running the bleachers, shooting free throws, not because we had to, but because we wanted to. That's just the way we all wanted to play. You know, and that made us all more like a family. I always said, all 4 years I played, it was different teams every year I got to play with, but it was a family atmosphere. We played for each other, you know, just like family. We had squabbles, but when that ball was thrown up, we was ready to go. We was playing for each other, and we was there for one thing, that was to win the game. And we would do pretty much anything to win. And so finally, I want to talk about my teammates for a minute. I don't want to really call no names on teammates because, like I said, I had so many different ones for so many years that I don't want to leave nobody out. But I'll just say that they know who they are. They know how much they mean to me, then and now. And you know, we was like a real family. I just love them guys. You know, it's I don't get to see much of them anymore, but I wish I could. I'd like to see them all, but you know, it's just the way it is. And then I'll wrap this thing up here and get out of here for you guys. I would like to say, you know, the day I was saved, the day I married my wife, and the 2 days that my sons were born is the greatest days of my life. Nothing else comes close. But if you was to flip that page over on my life of greatest times, the times playing basketball in Macon County will be right up there. And now tonight will be right up there with it. And I don't want to leave here too emotional, so I'll tell you this and I'll get out of here. I tell Glenn all the time, I said, you know, you may have to call a life flight to get me tomorrow. But what I wouldn't give to slide that jersey, I'm going to play one more game for Macon County. Thank you.
Our next, can you hear me without the microphone? Can you hear me without the microphone? Yes. Our next inductee will be Mike Wells.
Mike Wells is one of the newest members of the Macon County Sports Hall of Fame. Mike played both basketball and golf at Macon County High School. He played all 4 years of basketball from 1979 until 1982. He was named the Tigers' defensive most valuable player his senior season. Mike was named Macon County's outstanding golfer in 1979. He helped lead his team to 2 second-place district finishes his junior and senior seasons. He tied for medalist honors his junior year. Mike made the cut at the Future Masters Tournament in Dothan, Alabama in 1982. Mike played 4 years of college golf at Tennessee Tech. He walked on the team in 1982 and earned a scholarship the next year. He helped lead the Golden Eagles to a first-place finish at the Tennessee Intercollegiate Tournament in 1985. Today, Mike serves as a certified public accountant in Lafayette. He lives here with his wife, Carol. He has 2 brothers. His dad, Bill, is still living, but sadly, his mom, Sally, passed away a few years ago. Mike Wells, one of the newest members of the 2024 class of the Macon County Sports Hall of Fame.
All right, presenting Mike with his plaque is a former University of Nebraska basketball player, came from Indiana. I didn't mean to say that, but he played at Nebraska. Bill Wells is his dad.
Go Huskers.
Go Irish.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, today was really special. You know how your morning coffee will wake you up. This day became really, really significant because of this occasion, and this is my 64th anniversary in Macon County. June 1st, 1960 was my first day of hard work at Lafayette Manufacturing Company. It's certainly my pleasure to participate in this event. Even better, it's a joy to have a family member, a second family member, to be inducted into the Macon County Sports Hall of Fame. I need to make a full disclosure here. I don't know what Mike's going to say, and he doesn't know what I'm going to say. He did tell me, he said, "Dad, you know this is about the good stuff, don't you?" And of course I did. I'm not going to tell you anything about what he did. I want to try to tell you who he is. And I'll focus on 3 areas. One would be his priorities. Second would be respect. And the third would be goal setting. First, we're going to talk about his priorities. It would naturally come to everybody's mind. It would be God, family, and country. Well, my late wife, Sally, love you, Sally, would often, after hearing endless conversations and discussions about this golfer, that tournament, my score that day, and she was thoroughly convinced that the priorities were God, family, golf, country. We finally convinced her not true. So those are very important priorities, and I think have been maintained throughout his career and life. Respect. You got to have respect for your family, your friends, your teammates, and your opponents. Granlund Rice, a famous sports writer, born in Murfreesboro, Vanderbilt University graduate, made this comment. He said, when the one great scorer comes to write beside your name, he writes not that you won or lost, but how you played the game. Well, what we have taught Mike is that you have to have respect, and you do that by being humble in victory and be gracious in defeat. Third would be your goal. You aim for excellence, and you select your goal aggressively, and you pursue it aggressively. Quick story, 1983, Jim Valvano, coach of North Carolina State University, beat the Houston team and for the NCAA championship. Against all odds, nobody thought NC State had a chance, but Valvano coached them to that victory. In his ESPY speech in 1993, he was deathly ill with terminal cancer, and his speech lasted 20, 30 minutes, and he was so weak he had to be helped off the stage. But the most important words he left to last, and those words, those 7 words, don't give up, don't ever give up. And that describes Mike Wells. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dad. As he started, I'm going to start the same way. I'm going to, Coach kind of flipped the script on me, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to say, how about this guy? Valedictorian, West Baden Springs High School, scholarship athlete, University of Nebraska, Kimball plant manager at 25, vice president of Raw Materials Division for Kimball International, Lafayette City Council, Lafayette City Mayor, and the list goes on and on and on. Excuse me. At 88 years young, you continue to inspire. If there was a Dad's Hall of Fame, you would be at the top of the list. Thank you for the opportunities you present me. In May, late May, early June 1974, I attended my last day of class at Fairlane Grade School. 4th grade class, Miss Dallas. Back then it was Fairlane 1 to 4, Central 5 to 8, and high school 9 to 12. There were 3 schools. For that last day of class, There wasn't a fancy graduation. We picked up our report cards and we were told, good luck next year at Central. We were probably out by 10 o'clock. And on that same day, I played my first round of golf with my best friend, Woody Coulter. We both shot 71 for 9 holes. So began a love affair with the game of golf that endures some 50 years later. Was it the feel of a new golf glove, the crack of a persimmon club when you made contact with the sweet spot, or the sound your spikes made as you walked across concrete? It was all of those, but it soon became the camaraderie and friendships that would be shared attempting to master a game that could not be mastered. Some of my happiest times have been on the golf course. In 2003, Dad and I played 9 holes 10 days after prostate cancer surgery for myself. There was no talk mentioned about lab results, possible surgery, after surgery treatments. For the next 2 hours, we were father and son enjoying a round of golf. Of course, there have been sad times too. I received the phone call no one wants to get standing 10 feet from the number 1 tee box. On another cold day, incidental, the same day I had my surgery, several years later, that Mom would not be recovering from COVID. She would pass away later that day. Thank you to George and Linda for the nomination. You guys are like family to me, and I love you both. Congratulations to the other inductees, Dan, Jan, Barry, and Dwayne. Dana, I'm sorry. All very deserving. Thank you to the committee for this honor. Thank you for the hard work in making this all come together. It's a great night. Thank you to Coach Fitz and Jackie Eller for the congratulatory phone calls. Both calls came within 10 minutes of each other at the end of another stressful tax season. Coach Fitz and I go way back, and I appreciate him trying to get me interested in football, but I think it's easy to see that I was better suited for less violent sports. Jackie and I have played 1 million rounds of golf together over the years and served on the board of the golf course. We still talk golf every time we see each other. Of course, she's not here, but she's still with us. A huge thanks to Mom. She drove me all over Mid-State for golf tournaments and listened intently on the way home to how my day went, either good or bad. Today you hear a lot of the professional golfers talking about their team. You know, my team. Mom was my team. Someone once asked me about my growing up years. I told them that myself and everyone else in our family hit the lottery, and with Mom, we hit the Powerball. She would wake each day with the goal of doing something for someone else, whether it was a family member, a church member, or a friend. We should all be so lucky to live our lives that way. Thanks to my brothers Mark and Marty. Both have been and continue being great role models. Although I'm certain the BB gun incident and holding a pillow over my head were both very unnecessary. To this day, I pretty much set off the security detector every time I go through the airport. My last trip through Miami, this guy kept running the wand back and forth down here in my waistline, and he says, "What have you got down there?" I didn't tell him I think there's a BB lodged there somewhere. Thank you to my sister-in-law, Tanya, Derek McCaleb, and Diane DeSalle for taking what very few sports accomplishments I have and making a cool presentation on my board. I guess there's always regret. Perhaps there should have been more, but it just didn't work out. Thank you for making it look way better than it actually was. Thank you to the coaches over the year, Mr. Bransford, Coach Carter, Ronald Burble, Pat Dyer, Bob Fitzpatrick, and Butch Creek. All of them pushed me to be better. And of course, my golf team teammates, Woody, Jeff Hudson, Alex Beasley, Jimmy Breeding, and Tony Woosley. The last 3, of course, are no longer with us, but what a great time we had. Of course, none of my college teammates are here, but I'm going to give them a shout out. Bill Hickey, Mark Norman, Randy Herring, Tim Brock, Bill Rogers, Brett Jarrett, Gary Maxwell, Eric Mumford, Jim Cornelius, Tim Coffey, and Paul Korth. I made lasting friendships with these guys and am still in contact with a lot of them today. And last but first, thank you to my beautiful bride, Carol, who on a daily basis indulges my dreams of one day playing in the senior PGA golf tournament. She knows, but has yet to tell me that I have a better chance of becoming a Jedi in Star Wars than I do playing around the golf with Fred Couples. We have the best life together, and I don't tell her enough, but I can't do it without her. I would like to tell you one very quick golf story, and I'm not going to tell you, as Dad said, I'm not going to tell you about the results of the 7-iron I hit in the water or the putt I missed. There's hundreds I could tell you, but I think this one sums up my golf and life career, or lack thereof, pretty well. Woody and I drove to Cookeville in the summer of 1982 after graduating from MCHS. We were invited to play a round of golf, or a few holes of golf, change that, with Tech coach Bobby Nichols. After we played, he invited us back to the before-school qualifier that fall, and we both made the team as walk-ons. And I traveled that fall to most of the tournaments. You would play, there was 5 of you, and if you finished in the top 3, Coach Nichols would deem you qualified for the next tournament. If you're in the bottom 2, you came home and qualified again. So all that fall, I'm getting to travel quite a bit, not all of them. But spring season rolls around, and I'm traveling pretty much on all of them. And I'm beating guys who are on scholarship. And the Ohio Valley Conference was always the last tournament of the spring quarter. So about a week before we were ready to, we knew the OVC was coming up, Coach Nichols calls me in his office. And of course my mind's racing a little bit, because there were a few of the teammates that liked to hang out near the pool and flirt with the lifeguards instead of practicing and playing. And I knew it wasn't me, but I wasn't sure Coach did. So I follow him into this tiny little office in the back of the pro shop with a desk, his office chair, one other chair. There's 25 bags of clubs around. There's PGA Tour memorabilia around. There's pictures, signed pictures from Palmer and Nicholas and everybody. And he had played the tour for 2 years in the 70s, and he was the nicest man you'd ever meet, but for a freshman at Tech, it could be a little intimidating. So he starts in with, Mike, you've been playing some really solid golf for Tech in the 5 spot this spring, and the OVC tournament's coming up in London, Kentucky, hosted by Eastern Kentucky University next week, and you're going to be traveling with us. Obviously, this is our biggest tournament of the year, but we feel like you're up to the task. So if you've been around me, you know I move pretty fast. So I get up to leave, and he stops me, and he says, Mike, I've got a couple other things I need to go over. He starts naming past number 5s who had played for Tech in the OVC in recent years. He names this guy and that guy and another guy, and I knew them. I'd played with them. They were good players. So I didn't know where he was going, but I'm going with him, I guess. And at this point, I'm thinking he's going to come up with, let's win one for the Gipper. You know, we can do this. And so I'm getting kind of pumped in. So he says, you know, Mike, for the past umpteen years, and I don't remember exactly, but it wasn't 2 or 3 or 5, but it was 15. It was 15 or 18 for years. Tech has had a player to finish last, dead last, in the OVC tournament. And all those guys I just mentioned finished last. I'm thinking, oh man, this isn't good. He leans across the desk, and I remember being over in the corner, and he had to lean up to get around some of the junk on his desk, and he goes, we want you to break that string. I mean, he knew I wasn't going to win it. He just didn't want me to finish last. And that was that. With 9 holes to go, Tech as a team was in second place, 4 shots back. So we got 1 shot a man, and I would like to tell you that we won it, but a tough back 9 put us in 4th out of 9 teams, and that was our best finish to date that Tech had ever had. Most importantly, yours truly did not finish last. I think I remember beating 4 or 5 other golfers. 3 years later, during my junior year, my teammates and I won the Tennessee Intercollegiate, as my bio said. At that time, this tournament had not been won by Tech since 1958. I would finish 6th behind my good friend and teammate Eric Mumford, who won it. The point is, My first place finishes have been very rare, but my last place finishes have been more rare. I have met and continue to meet some of the most important people in my life on and around the golf course. To the other members of my Saturday and Sunday foursome, although we aren't playing anymore like we once did, you will never know what our time together has meant. Thank you again to the committee, and congratulations to the other inductees. Thank you.
Test. Just before I get to the last inductee, Mr. Wells and I, or Bill, we play golf together. Some of us old players, Ronald Burkle, we play golf every day during the week at 8:30. And this has been years ago. I don't know if you heard, Bill Wells is going to be 89 years old. I'm 75. And I said, Bill, what's the secret to keeping your age? And a lot of people I know do this. Said, don't sit in the lounge chair watching them smoke, Happy Days, General Hospital, and drinking a beer. You have to stay active. And I'm just telling you from times going by, I'm just not made that way. But we play golf all the time. I got made that about a month ago. And we play for big money. And y'all know we play for big money. I lost $2.20 one day. And my wife had to cancel my debit card. But anyway, yeah, he's an inspiration to his whole family, I've known. And all you people inducted tonight, the people I look after and see, you were my students at one time. I was your teacher. Now you're parents, you've got children. It's just great. But athletics, being involved in something is the key to this. You know, we just can't get it in maybe our kids' heads anymore. You know, we've got travel ball now, we've got AAU ball now. I'm going every weekend. I say goodbye to my wife on Friday and we go travel ball. You know, everybody's going to different places. And the most important thing to me is still church. You know, we've got to keep our kids going to church. And, but, you know, family, togetherness, sitting down for Christmas dinner, Thanksgiving dinner, that's how it needs to be. And we're getting away from that, the younger generation. But anyway, I would like to present or introduce or put her up on the screen, our next inductee.
Dana Shrum Winkler is one of the newest members of the 2024 class of the Macon County Sports Hall of Fame. Dana played basketball for 2 years at Macon County High School. She played volleyball all 4 years and softball her entire high school career as well. Dana was named to the 1998 All-District Volleyball team and served as the team captain the same year. Softball is where she really left her mark. Her senior season, she was named First Team All-State. She was voted by other district coaches as the District 9AA Offensive Player of the Year, and she was named to the All-District team. Dana led Macon County with a batting average of .398. She also hit the most home runs and stole the most bases for the 1999 team. Dana led the 99 Macon County team to its first district title in school history. Dana finished top 10 in her class and was named to the Who's Who among American high school students. Today, Dana oversees operations at Championship Trophies here in Lafayette. She and her husband Russ live in Lebanon. They have one son, Logan. Dana Shrum Winkler, one of the newest members of the 2024 class of the Macon County Sports Hall of Fame.
Okay, it's my honor to present the speaker that's going to speak for her, and it's me. They asked me to do this. You go back a long time. And, I don't mean to get anything off the track, but her dad and I were best friends. The Lord took him in 2009 at the age of 53. Best softball coach ever been here for a long time. Her major accomplishments have been in softball, even though she played volleyball and a little basketball. But softball, Dan and I talked about this the other day. Does anybody know in here when softball was started at Macon County High School? Anybody know? Raise your hand, I got a dollar. I got a dollar for you, yes ma'am.
It was in the 70s.
Wrong. Yes, sir.
1993.
What time?
1993.
You're way out of base, guys. You're way out. What, Mike?
85.
Golly. See, y'all are drinking way too much or something. Your brain cells are dead. In 1980, Clay, don't you dare. You Googled it, you son of a gun, you. Click back there and Google it to see. Come on, I couldn't find it over there. I called Debbie Curtis. In 1980, the first Macon County High softball team was here. It happened on another drive. The football coach, I don't even remember who he was, had a bunch of girls come to him and ask him to coach the softball team, slow pitch. It was around the area, and he said, okay, this is in January, we'll have a meeting next week in the gym. Anybody interested in playing? I think Mr. McCrary was the principal, made the announcement, and they showed up, 61 of them. In the gym, 61 girls, and this one coach, football coach. And he had to make a decision within 2 weeks to get the roster down to 22 players. No money, no supplements, nothing. So we went ahead and we had a photographer from somewhere come in and do family portraits. And he had all 61 of his girls participate in this, knowing that some of them may not make the softball team. We raised enough money to buy uniforms, bats, helmets, catching equipment, and entry fees. And we were fortunate enough to, make a long story short, that the 2 weeks where I had to eliminate some of these girls was probably, where he had to eliminate some of these girls was probably the hardest thing he ever did. Because you take 61 girls, and you're picking 22, anyway, make a long story, that story's over with. After that season, the coach was advised that he was hired to coach football, and he would have to give up softball. That was it. Softball was over. Cindy Ford, who was his coach, his catcher back there, went to Cumberland or Tennessee Tech on scholarship, came back and started the softball program up again. And then I think Danny, Cindy was your coach one of those years, but Mark Shrum came back and made it what it was. You know, y'all, around here, softball, come on, you play softball. It's football, basketball, and baseball. Well, you know, now we got softball, we got soccer, we got track, we got cross country. Thanks to Coach Gaddis and Coach Cocker, we got a track program here and a golf team. We have more kids going to colleges on golf scholarships than we do anything else. You know, but again, it goes back to activities. You're involved, you put the dedication in, and those rewards all paid off. But anyway, let me tell you a little bit about Miss Dana. Her family, Ross, her husband, her son, where's Logan? Logan, right there. Raise your hand up so you can see it. Logan is a graduate from Friendship Christian High School. He has just made the all-state bowling team. Bowling team, right? Someone's never been to a bowling alley. The last bowling alley was in Red Bowling Springs, because I went to it years ago, right? Miss Proc, Red Bowling Springs, you know, when I set it with my hands. This is the old bowling alley. He has got a full scholarship to Tennessee Wesleyan for bowling. Has anybody ever been bowling? Try sometime. Go down the lane, put a ball down there, and try back down 10 pins. You have better luck hitting a car on the highway than you did bowling. But he only congratulated him, and of course his mom, Lynn Shrum, who's been a part of this for years, championship trophies. But you know, like I said earlier, her dad and I were best of friends. We and Dirk, I didn't leave you out, Dirk. I don't want to leave you out. But he was my best friend growing up. I mean, coming here, he took me out with football, and the good Lord took him away to only 53. So let me get to what this girl has done. I think, Daniel, that got everything. I think I rehearsed this morning. I was in front, you were taking a bath, and I was doing this. Dana Shrum. Macon County High School basketball for 2 years. Macon County volleyball 4 years, 1998 all-district team, 1998 volleyball team captain, MCH softball for 4 years, 1997 most valuable player, 1997 most improved, 1999 District 9AA all-district team, 1999 highest batting average, 398, most stolen bases in 1999, most home runs in 1999. This is all 1999. You was a senior then, wasn't you? 99 District 9AA Offensive Player of the Year, first team all mid-state, first team all state. Starting on softball's pretty tough. District champions, first in school history, softball team captain, voted most athletic. She got a softball scholarship to attend NC Tech. At this time, I'd like to welcome Ms. Shrum Winkler to the stage.
Okay. First, I want to thank Coach Fitz for inducting me tonight. You and your family mean so much to me and my family. I don't know if y'all know, but that coach that he was talking about in 1980 was him. Thank you.
Oh, sure, thanks.
Thank
Bring
you.
that out.
Thank you to the committee for nominating me, and congratulations to all the other inductees. I'm in good company. My dad, Mark Shrum, was inducted into the Macon County Sports Hall of Fame in 2002. I'm deeply honored and humbled to stand before you accepting this incredible honor. When B.J. Blankenship called to tell me that I had been nominated, he said, "You are going on the same plaque as your daddy." There's an empty seat here tonight, but I know my dad is here. I know he'd be proud because as a parent, I know how proud I was when my son became a state champion in bowling earlier this year. I cannot describe the utter joy that I felt. Nothing can compare to seeing your own child succeed. As the leadoff batter, I was always nervous. When the pitcher was warming up, I'd go to my dad on the third baseline, and I'd say, "Dad, I'm so nervous." He'd say, "Well, if you weren't nervous, I'd think there was something wrong with you." Well, there must be nothing wrong with me tonight. I played basketball, volleyball, and softball while in high school. But my favorite sport only came once a year: flag football, powder puff, homecoming week. I wanted to tackle, but unfortunately that is frowned upon in flag football. So I told my dad that I was going to go out for tryouts for the football team. He then told me that I'd have to cut my hair, so that ended that conversation real quick. This honor is not mine alone. It belongs to many people who have supported me along the way. To a lot of great coaches who believed in me and taught me more than just sports. They taught me the value of teamwork, responsibility, and their guidance has been invaluable in all aspects of my life. To coaches Cindy Ford, Beverly Shoulders, Roger Blankenship, Harry Matthews, Gary Carter, and my dad, I thank you. People used to ask what it was like to have my dad as my coach. It was great. He was a man of few words, but the words he did say were worth taking note. He would say, "God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you can listen more and talk less." I may not have mastered that one yet, but I'm still trying. I share this honor with my teammates. Without them, this would not be possible. I made lifelong friendships. I have a lot of fond memories of my teammates, and I will cherish them forever. I want to thank my brother for being here tonight. He made me tough. He was a talented baseball and football player in his own right, and he belongs up here too. I want to thank my mother for always being there for me. I can't imagine losing the love of my life as early as she did. She has taught me to be strong and resilient, and I can't thank her enough. To my mom and dad that taught me the value of hard work and discipline, for taking me to practice and games, this award belongs to you. I want to thank my in-laws for being here tonight. It means so much, and thank you for raising such an incredible man. I want to thank my aunts, my uncle, cousins, and friends for being here tonight and for their support. I want to thank my husband for being my rock through the highs and lows, for always being there for me and our son, who does absolutely everything for us and goes above and beyond every single day. I have many memories of major wins and also memories of tough losses, memories of home runs, but also of the strikeouts. But with each one, there is personal growth gained. Most importantly, I learned that through challenges we face, we discover our strengths. We discover just how tough we really are. I learned that success has little to do with talent, but everything to do with resilience, hard work, and the ability to pick up and move forward. My son is here. I'm excited for you and for what your future holds. We did good, but you made it easy. Thank you for reminding me about some of the very lessons I learned through sports, that practice does not make perfect, but that perfect practice does. Logan, this is for you and for my niece Harley, and for all the other aspiring athletes here tonight. Being in the Hall of Fame is not just a recognition of past achievements, but a reminder for future generations and the positive impact sports can have in your life. I hope I can serve as a positive role model to Harley and Logan. Remember to dream big, work hard, and never give up, no matter how tough it may seem. It will always get better. Have a positive attitude. It really does make a difference. And most importantly, expect to win. In conclusion, I want to express my gratitude once again. I will treasure this moment for the rest of my life. And thank you all for celebrating this with me. Go Big Blue. Thank you. Love you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that'll wrap this up. If you could, I know a lot of you left, any former Hall of Fame people in here, would you please stand? Okay, there we go. I know Coach Dwayne, Macon, Coach Dwayne, Harry Flicken were here, some of them left. So, y'all, we appreciate you coming tonight. I want to thank the committee, Kathy's, for feeding us tonight, and God bless each and every one of you, and see you in church, and take care of those kids. Keep them motivated. Thank you.